Hello, everybody, to the VASR Stock Car Championship live here tonight from the Bristol Motor Speedway for race number 6 of the normal season here at the VASR. As currently qualifying, of course, underway as usual. With about 40 seconds left. Tommy Gossett currently on pole, looking for his second straight pole here tonight after winning and pretty much dominating last week at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway. We're going to try to back that performance up with another great run here tonight at Bristol, as Corey Rexford currently the only car on track, excuse me, as he's getting set to try to complete his hot lap. With less than 10 seconds left on the board, it's got to be right here. He's off turn number 4, going to cross the finish line, complete his lap. Not very sure where exactly that put him, but that is going to end qualifying for these guys now, as they're going to line up on the front straightaway for gridding. All lined up here behind the RSF column. Official for Mustang pace car. So we're going to start your starting grid off here in just a moment, but first I have to give a couple shout outs here. Sponsors for the VASR. And along with LCTV sponsors, LCTV sponsors Smokey Schemes, official paint scheme designer for LCTV Broadcasting. Make sure you contact Smokey Schemes if you want to have any custom paint scheme done for your iRacing vehicle. So, as these guys heard up on the grid here, I'll take you through the TV starting grid. Tommy Gossett sits on pole for the second straight week at the time of 14.493. This is side Matt Jackson, the number 8. App Auto Parts Chevrolet. He didn't start off in P2. Our number 2 here tonight, Victor Valley in the 7th. Tim Winikoff in the 54. Making his first career start here tonight with us. Doug Carlson in the 86 machine. He's roll off in 5th. And Jack Fellers in 6th. And then on your field of qualifiers, Cody Dempster in the 21 entry. And then it looks like we have the Mickey Neal entry there in that 29. He's going to be rounding out the field of racers here tonight. So 8 drivers prepared for tonight's action. As the pace car is going to start rolling here, I'm going to start the first of 2 warm-up laps here before these drivers go ahead and take the green flag. So as they start rolling on front straightaway here, take a look at the track information for Bristol Motor Speedway. Track length 0.52 miles, the shortest track on the NASCAR circuit. Track temperature currently 64 degrees Fahrenheit, located in Bristol, Tennessee. And then the weather for tonight's racing action: 64-degree air temperature as well. Wind direction is to the north and is at 1 mile an hour. 1 mile an hour, if like in English. Humidity 0%, fog is 0%, and partly cloudy sky conditions here for a great night of racing. As they come off turn number 4 and receive the 1 to go signal. We're ready to get race number 6 underway here tonight. As they roll through turns 1 and 2, and now down onto the back straightaway. Gotta set things loose here and get this race underway. Hey, looking to try to go back-to-back tonight. As they roll through turns 3 and 4, 45-mile-an-hour pace car speed. The pace car makes its way down onto safety off pit lane. We'll receive the green flag here. Green flag waves from Bristol for 200 laps of racing. As Tommy Gossett gets to jump on the field, and your pole sitter is going to pull out to a good 3 car length lead now over second place. Matt Jackson is ahead in turn 3 for the first time at the full speed. And that number 80 Grunt style Chevrolet Camaro holds on to that race lead for now. But Matt Jackson right there in his tire tracks, looking to try to make the most of it and try to get a run on your race leader here and challenge him for that. And as you see, running the bottom of the racetrack for now on fresh tires, we're going to see these guys go trim right up against the outside wall once we go onto a long run here at Bristol. And pretty much playing nice and easy now. Remember, these guys do not have any faster barriers. The 8 tries to go into the corner a little bit deep, but watch the racetrack has back out of that. As currently your race leaders pretty much all neck to neck here to see if anybody can make a charge at the 80 of Tommy Gossett and try to battle him for that spot. Remember, we saw the 8 machine last week, and Matt Jackson actually passed the 80 for a lap, but then trying to make it on fuel. And fortunately for him, was not able to make it the rest of the way on fuel and running out of gas coming or on the white flag actually in the back straightaway after he just got passed by the 80s. He already hits out the roll here in turns number 1 and 2. But I'm getting pushed by his teammate Nathan Stewart to the finish into second place. So also good momentum for him coming into tonight's race. Already 6 laps completed, 15-second lap times. They go by super quick here at Bristol, and you see the 8 all over the upper of that 80, trying to find a way around him. You're going to see how tough it is to pass here at Bristol, especially on a long run. As the only way to really pass is to hope the guy in front of you makes a mistake or to try to get a good enough run off the corner, or what we like to call a slide job or slider. Is basically send it in on the bottom of the racetrack. You send it in, you know, drive it in really deep, and you slide it right in front of the guy you're trying to pass, and basically force them to check up, otherwise they get in the back of you and damage their car. And it's a pretty aggressive move, so I don't think you're going to see that, obviously, right now, as we're only on lap 10 of 200. As currently back in third place, you have Tim Winikoff right there in that 54. The 29 who started this race dead last in 8th place. He's currently sitting McNeil in 4th position. And then, of course, you have the 21 entry there, that being Cody Dempster, Victor Valley in the 7, Corey Rexford in the 03. Right there, and Douglas Carlson and Jack Fellers is actually on the racetrack as well back here. But the battle for race leads kind of died down a little bit. The battle is on for 3rd place as the 54 under fire from the 29 of Mickey Neal. As the 29 is on the bottom of the racetrack, the 54 on the top of the track. So 2 different lines here. We're going to see which one pays off more. As it looks like 54 is going to get the run off the corner here once again, but the 29 pinches him up against the outside wall. He has a huge head of steam into turns number 3 and 4, and he's going to take that position away. So Mickey Neal moves all the way up from starting last in 8th place, all the way up to the podium spot here, or at least a podium spot, I should say. You know, up front, it is the 8 trying to chase down that 80 of Tommy Gossett, and Jackson still right there behind. And Bristol is such a fast and crazy place for racing. You basically, it's so banked compared to tracks of similar size like Martinsville, where it's pretty much flat. You know, you have about like 90 degrees of banking or so, but that's about it. You don't really, you know, feel it here at Bristol. It's like running a mini. It's basically running a fifth of Talladega. The banking here is so crazy. And actually, as we're going to go on board now with the 80 here, you're going to see just how banked this racetrack racing surface is. As you're on board with Tommy Gossett in the 80. See Matt Jackson trying to get in behind him there, but just the banking here at Bristol, how crazy it is. And you're going so fast here around this track, at least it feels like going so fast. You know, you're only going about 140 miles an hour tops, as Jack Fowler is going to go a lap down because I'm the apron out of the way. But you turn laps here so fast. 15 seconds is the typical lap time here, or under. We start qualifying times in 14s. And you're just clicking off laps one by one. It's right next to that wall, and a little mistake puts you on that wall, and you're basically, you know, going to be damaged, and it's going to hurt your car for the rest of the race. And it's absolutely fun. One of my favorite racetracks, personally, to race at. Definitely one that I usually excel at and love to enjoy. But another guy that's currently excelling on this racetrack is that 29 of Mickey Neal. Remember, he started all the way back in last in 8th place. Got himself up to 3rd place, and now he's looking for these 2 top positions. He's all the way upper now of Matt Jackson, looking to try to take over that 2nd spot. Meanwhile, Matt Jackson is on the bumper of Tommy Gossett, looking to try to take over the race lead. 29 goes to the bottom of the racetrack underneath the 8. Not going to happen off turn number 2 as the 8 gets run off the corner. The 8 now looking underneath the 80 of Tommy Gossett. So your top 3 all under a blanket here, Bristol. Trying to find a way around each other, but just so tough to pass here at the world's fastest half mile that it's definitely very challenging. It's definitely going to take a long time for you to be able to build up a run and build up what you need pretty much to take that position away from somebody. He's right on board now with the 29 Mickey Neal. And you see he's actually on the bottom of the racetrack, which is an interesting line here at Bristol. You don't usually see a lot of guys be able to run that as good as this 29 machine is doing currently. Pretty much glued to the apron or at least close to it. And I think it honestly, it kind of wears your tires out a little bit more because you're having to put more strain on your right front tire going down that low. So that might be why you see him doing that. You know, he's being aggressive, charging through the field, while the 8 and the 80 need to be trying to see their tires a little bit more or just run consistent lap times. And definitely, you know, can't be a multi-groove racetrack here though at Bristol. You definitely run the bottom on a short run, and if you're doing what the 29 is doing here, you can also run it on a long run, and it can also pay off for you. Of course, in real life, this past year they added the grip strip down the bottom racetrack, which really brought in the bottom lane, but unfortunately we do not have that yet on iRacing. But the bottom still kind of works a little bit if you know how to do it and you do it right. As still though, already pretty snug up against each other here at the front of the pack, all within half a second of each other. As the 29 though getting that run off the corner on the 8, but the 8 just using that highlight. As the 80 of Tommy Gossett puts in the outside wall, 3 wide for the race lead now off turn number 4. Contact between the 8 and the 29. But the 8 is now going to retain the race lead for now as Tommy Gossett's Oliver Bumper now looks to the outside. And that might just be the move that Tommy Gossett needed to make there as he gets to the outside of Matt Jackson and was going to take that position away. But a mistake by the race leader, Tommy Gossett. He's going to scrape the fence there once again. He pretty much stuffed it in the fence, and the 8 got underneath him, got on his door a little bit. Actually, his 29 and Mickey Neal also pancakes that wall just a little bit as Jack Fillers goes in pit road with some sort of issue. Unfortunately, that was Caesar Chevrolet the race he wanted. But meanwhile, now these 3 guys hitting the wall and passing each other and going 3 wide for the race lead. Here comes Dempster here in the 21 up in 4th place. He's looking at trying to get some spots here out of this. As Mickey Neal moves up into 2nd, and that sets the sights on the race leader, Tommy Gossett. Now Tommy Gossett has seen what the 29 has been doing behind him, and he's going to pretty much take his line away, run the bottoms, 29, a little bit of contact there, a little bit of a bump, going into the corner, almost a contact off the corner right there as he back out of that to avoid contact. And then right there, when I go to the top of the racetrack, the 80 went up, adjusted from him, and took his line away. So, some smart driving out of the 80 machine. We have Tommy Gossett, great defense as they come through turns number 3 and 4 here once again, just clicking off laps one by one. And so far, no caution here from Bristol. Jack Fillers is coming 7 laps down after some major issues. The 86 machine currently in 8th place on lead lap, and along with everybody in front of him. As I can't believe they went 3 wide with the race lead, and there's no repercussions, if I can say that word correctly. Out of that was pretty fun to see, to say the least. That 29 is still hounding that 80, trying to find a way around him, but he just can't quite do it. He's going to charge the outside. He's going to get in the outside wall, though. It's going to cost him a considerable amount of time. As Tommy Gossett hits the wall off turn number 4, and that's going to cost him even more. So this guy is not holding back. They're racing for this race lead like it's time to go right now. And you see the damage to the right side of the 80 Grunt style Chevrolet. A lot of right foot damage on that machine for sure. At least a good 20 seconds or more of optional damage. You see the right front fender is mostly what caved in, but of all the tracks, Bristol is probably the one that matters the least, maybe besides Martinsville, as far as damage to the race car goes. But now, Mickey Neal started all the way back in last place, has now found himself all the way up into the race lead for the first time tonight. So I guess maybe somebody signed for pit road or something like that, because he did start in 8th and he was the last car on the grid, but there's 9 drivers in the field here, so I'm not quite sure what exactly is up with that necessarily, but definitely interesting for sure. As we are going to, however, look at the Dempster that found himself all the way up into 3rd place. As Matt Jackson started in that 2nd position, and it was battling the race leader. Tommy Gossett passed him there in that 3-wide scuffle, but now finds himself all the way back in 4th place. So just goes to show how well conserving the tires, how far that goes for you. As you see, the 29 caution flag is out though on the racetrack, and it's out for the 03 of Corey Rexford. So that is gonna put a halt on that good battle we're seeing there for the top 4 positions. As the first caution flag of the night. The saying cautious breed cautions. We're going to see if that comes true, because it definitely happened last week at New Hampshire, if you remember that correctly. So I'm going to take a look back and see what exactly sparked the 03 to have some issues. As it looks like pretty significant contact with the wall for the 03 machine. Corey Rexford, you see just he got on the outside wall off turn number 4. It's so easy to do, and he come up so close to it so fast off the corner, just like we saw the 80 do, except the 80 is able to hang onto it. Unfortunately for the 03, he's not going to do that as he hits the inside wall head on, lifts all 4 wheels off the ground, spins the car around, keeps it off the outside wall after that. And you see the 54, the 7 of Victor Valle sneak on by there. But unfortunately for Corey Rexford, it's not going to be enough to keep that machine from pretty much being out of contention for the win. It's still drivable at this point, but you can see he just accelerated a little bit too much off the corner and didn't anticipate the wall power being that close, and you see the consequences, unfortunately, he needs to pay. As he's going to try to get some of that damage fixed as possible here. Unfortunately, though, for him at Bristol, not much time you have to pit and try to fix your car or whatnot. As you see the 29 machine, though, he's going to stay out on the racetrack. No, he pitted. Never mind. My apologies. So he's actually going to come in first and come out first. However, one of Cody Dempster now finds himself into that runner-up spot with the 54 right there in 3rd. That's Tim Winikoff, and remember in his first career start here. Victor Valle in 4th. As you see Tommy Gossett back here in 5th. But I'm guessing probably took some optional repairs there after he pancaked the outside wall himself there while leading the race, and that's what cost him the lead. So he's gonna opt into doing that. As that paint scheme definitely reminds me. I know it's basically a different killer combination of Spencer Boyd's 2018 Grunt style Chevrolet Camaro. Definitely looks a lot like the Thorn paint scheme, though, that Casey Kane ran here at Bristol and other racetracks as well. I'm not quite sure that's what it's going for, but definitely gives me those vibes for sure with the white and the red and the blue. Wouldn't surprise me if that's the case. But definitely a sharp-looking paint scheme for sure, especially the yellow numbers and everything. Definitely getting that vibe, and I actually think that's what it's for. As looks like Pisco lights are going to go out this time. We're going to get the one to go signal, and we're going to take it back under the green flag as we're already almost 1/4 of the way through this one. And the cautions don't last very long here, as of course being at Bristol. Good Dempster up in the front row here for the first time tonight. Highest he's been all night long. Highest 29 has been all night long as well. Of course, all the way back in last place, like I mentioned before. As it wound up behind the RS.com official Ford Mustang pace car. That's going to pull down onto pit road here in just a few moments. As there it goes, and 29 McNeil has the field in his hands. The green flag's going to wave here. We're back racing 1/4 of the way officially now through this race. As McNeil holds on the race lead, Cody Dempster right there in 2nd. As Tommy Gossett's clawing his way up through this field on a triangle on the outside of 21 for that 2nd position. He's going to pinch the 21 of Cody Dempster down through turns number 3 and 4. Then he's going to get that spot. A little bit of contact as he gets to the back bumper of the 29. Really aggressive racing here for the race lead already. Just in this restart, as Cody Dempster going to try to do the crossover in the outside lane. Unfortunately for him, he's not going to quite get the run off the corner, and 80's going to shut the door on him. So the 80 looked like it was, it almost looked intentional, but I don't think it was. I think he was just trying to clear the 21 and force him around the back for 29, but didn't affect 29 at all, honestly. It probably just damaged the nose of his car as Cody Dempster gets chopped there by Tommy Gossett. I'm sure they probably discussing right now on the radios, and 21 definitely feels like he's the favor for that one, letting out of the gas. As he's going to get really tight off the corner, though, and have to slam on the brakes before it goes in the apron to avoid making contact with him. But looks like everybody's going to keep it together back there. As Tommy Gossett, though, trying to get his way up to the rear bumper of the 29 and try to find a way around them if possible. And I'm not really sure if he's really fast to them. They definitely seem to be pretty close on pace. 29 actually gets a huge run and pulls away a little bit here. As complete lap number 56, 80 maybe actually at the outside wall right there, but see Cody Dempster still right there behind him. Having some ignition issues, but he actually is kind of caught back up to the rear bumper of him after hitting the outside, or almost hitting the outside wall on the check up to avoid hitting the outside wall pretty much. As you see, you're going to try to make a run on Tommy Gossett. A little bit of contact in the left rear corner panel of the 80. As the 80 continues to pinch the 21 down. The 21 hits the apron a little bit, and the 80 going to really pinch him up off the corner right there. But meanwhile, they're catching the 29 and Mickey Neal even while trying to go side by side. So all these guys really close, and hopefully they just don't take each other out, because I've seen that happen before. As I jinxed it. As that's going to be a lot of your field. Matt Jackson and Douglas Carlson pile in as they had nowhere to go. See Tommy Gossett, he's going to be able to lock it down after the fact. But 21 of Cody Dempster, he actually has some major suspension issues. The rear axle is pretty much twisted on that 21 entry, and he's going to pretty much be done here tonight. I don't think that's going to be really easily repairable. And just as soon as I said, hopefully they don't take each other out, it happens. And Victor Valley, actually, I guess, somehow managed to find... Oh, the 54. My apologies. Tim Winikoff now finds himself in the race. Leader Victor Valley, the points leader, currently in second. As we are going to look back at that contact, however, as that was for the race lead. And I said it because I had that feeling, honestly. And I guess I kind of did the broadcaster's curse, as I typically do. As you're going to see right here, 80... of Tommy Gossett on the rear bumper, 29 Mickey Neal. Mickey Neal just, I guess, not going as fast as Tommy Gossett expected him to. And then after the 80 hits the back of him, the 21 right there in his rear bumper. So then 80 hits the brakes to try to avoid him. The 21 hits the 80. Then he actually hits the 29 up the racetrack. And what a job of the 54 machine here. He actually got tagged in right rear of the 21 on the front straightaway. To pretty much straighten himself out as he got turned sideways there and was able to hang on to it, though. As that is going to bring the second caution flying of the night out. Corey Rexford actually now put it behind the wall. As you're right on board now with the 54 machine of Tim Winikoff. As you're going to see this up ahead of him here. Come off of turn number 2 to the back straight. Now into turn number 3. Sitting back here in 4th place, doesn't know he's going to become the leader all of a sudden as you see the car get turned sideways, goes towards the racetrack, just gets tagged, and then unfortunately for both him and the 21, they both get more damage, and actually, that's what caused that rear axle damage there to the 21 machine, which pretty much took him out of this race, because you see right here, as we're right on board with him, he gets turned out of the racetrack into his rear corner panel right on that axle, and that's what snaps the axle for the 21, and causes those issues for the 21 entry, as that's going to pretty much take him out as he had really found his race car too, unfortunately, as that's just, what happens here sometimes. You run on board now with Tommy Gossett for this one. Just unfortunate mistake, gets the back of the 29, and that's all it really takes. It gets pushed into it, and luckily for him, he's able to mostly avoid everything. As you see, the major contact there between the 86 and the 8. Victor Valley scrambles and kind of weaves his way through there and makes it through. He's right on board now with Douglas Carlson. As another issue here at Bristol is that you can't see a wreck because of how banked it is and how much of a blind corner it is. You see right here, you can't see the wreck at all. Can't see the wreck. He sees the smoke, he hits the brakes, or he tries to. It comes in pretty hot, actually. And unfortunately for him and Matt Jackson, they get together and get quite a bit of damage on both their race cars. But lineup back to 5-4, the restart now. Tim Winikoff finds himself on the race lead here. Even after that damage, I guess he decided not to take most of the repairs, which should not be crucial. However, that 7 Victor Valley, while it does have some right side damage, definitely looks to be in a pretty good spot. As 54 is going to get the field back to the restart and the green flag, which is now going to wave. It's a pretty early go by the 54 machine, but it looks like he has a bit of an issue with the shift, or maybe that front end damage is slowing him down. Is back behind him. Tommy Gossett takes it 3 wide, backs out of the 21. Is going to go ahead and do that. He's going to take it 3 wide for the race lead, as Matt Jackson hits the outside wall a little bit right there. And it looks like the 21 somehow is able to get that rear axle fixed. I'm not quite sure how. I thought I showed I was going to take him out of the race, but I guess they're somehow able to repair that. So that's pretty cool stuff for sure there. As you see, 54 Tim Winikoff, though, pretty much pulling away at this point. Richard Valley right there in second, about 8/10 behind. Mickey Neal, who was the race leader before that contact happened, currently back here in third place with a pretty tore up car, however. And I don't think there's really a single car in this field now that's clean, as you can see. Yeah, that's definitely true. Not a single car in this field that's clean. The cleanest car of all of them is the 7 for sure. As you see it, though, not quite close enough to try to make a move for the race lead, as Mickey Neal also trying to hound him for that second spot as well. Having a clean car can be pretty crucial, you know, in a race like this at Bristol, especially. A lot of guys can hit the outside wall, and you see the 7's already done that before, but he's actually slightly catching on a race leader here of Tim Winikoff. Was about 8/10, now it's down to about half a second, and he has the 29 pressuring him and trying to make a pass on him pretty much. See Victor Valley, the points leader, still trying to find his way to victory lane this season. Unfortunately for him, well, he's been consistent and pretty much just a quiet threat pretty much almost every single race. He's not been able to be as, you know, he's not able to like, get a victory so far this season, just per se. And now from the bottom of the racetrack, Mickey Neal going to hit the outside wall, actually trying to run that top side of the racetrack, because Victor Valley can get that second spot up and fall back in line behind. And it's Tommy Gossett now right there behind, looking to try to shake things up as well. Already we're almost half of the way through this race. As right now Mickey Neal hits the outside wall, looks like off turn number 4, or at least had to check up to avoid it. But this is all happening 7/10 behind your race leader, Tim Winikoff. And Victor Valley now right there in front of Tommy Gossett, so that third position now. Looks like the battle for that is going to heat up as Tommy Gossett looks to the outside of Victor Valley. Remember, teammates by talking about a little bit nice to each other here. Tommy Gossett is going to pretty much surge around the outside, has the preferred groove, and they're going to take that position away. So I think with Victor Valley, the thing that his issue is right now is he's not. You can see right here. If you look at some of these guys, 54 for instance of Tim Winikoff, he doesn't have connection issues. Running pretty much the very top of that racetrack, the 29 pretty much right in the very bottom of the racetrack, the 80 right there in the kind of the middle-ish top. So I'm not quite sure actually. It's definitely interesting. Bristol's a very unique racetrack, and it's definitely absolutely nothing like it really. Dover's the closest you get to it, but still double the size and not as much banking. As the battle for the race lead though is heating up as Mickey Neal is catching race leader Tim Winikoff. So as that looks like that's going to pretty much pick up, and you got Tommy Gossett right there behind, looking to try to get back into the race lead after starting on the pole for this race. So already this time by, it's going to be 80 laps down and only 120 left to go. Mickey Neal underneath this before. So Tim Winikoff for that race lead. Tommy Gossett sitting there right there in the catbird seat in third, looking on at this battle. 29 going to try to find a way around him, but the 80 going to try to find a way around the 29. As you see the 80 Tommy Gossett He's actually going to take both of them. Tommy Gossett passes the 29 and the 54 for the race lead in turns number 1 and 2. There's going to be 3 and 4 there. A pretty amazing move by Tommy Gossett. I did not think he was going to be able to get that there, as the 54 and 29 had the preferred lanes. As the 29 has a connection, as soon as the 54 has a connection issues. Now McNeil trying to take the second spot away from him, though. Looks like he's going to shut the door on the 54 and clear him off of turn number 2. Tommy Gossett back in control of this race. McNeil still right there trying to chase him back down after losing that spot to him. Trying to pass 54. About for his season to heat up. It's 29 McNeil though, gonna hit the apron a little bit right there. Now looks to the inside of Tommy Gossett, trying to get underneath him for that race lead. So they go back straight over here into turn number 3. The 29 on the bottom, the 80 on the top. The 80 to be able to get that run off the corner and pretty much defend that position, which is what he needs to do. 29's gonna have to try to find another way. Now this 80 actually gonna try to take his line away and go to the bottom of the track. Or is going to continue to defend on the top of the racetrack, as you see right now, but all it takes is a bump and run with a 29, or to maybe rub him up into the wall, or something dirty potentially. You never know. I don't think we're going to see that here, so we're not even halfway yet. And I don't think the 29 is going to do that to him, but remember the contact earlier when they got dumped by the 80. If Tommy Gossett, you might just see a little bit of payback if it comes down to it. You never know. Obviously, it wasn't intentional. Right now, they're going to try to get higher than the 80. The 80 tries to go towards the top of the racetrack and not let that lane open up. And the 29 tries to go even higher, but unfortunately the wall is right there, and he got into a little bit right there and lost some time. But as you see McNeil scraping that wall a little bit right there again. Right side sparking against the outside wall as he now goes back down to the bottom of the racetrack. Basically try to find a way out of here. As Nine tries to continue to run the bottom as they're inching even closer and closer to the halfway point of this race. As Neil gets chopped right there by Tommy Gossett, and he wasn't going to be able to get it anyway because he was washing up out of the corner, getting too tight, but definitely some pretty close races and risky moves out of these two drivers. As you see, 29 McNeil trying the bottom landing once again, obviously not going to be able to get it unless the 80 makes a mistake and hits the wall or has to check up to avoid the wall. And currently out of these two cars, of course, the 80 has to clean a race car, not being mostly involved in the crash. Pretty much just got in the back of 29 and got rear-ended. That's about all it is as far as damage is concerned for the 80th Tommy Gossett. So holding on the race lead for now, doing a great job of doing that. As 29, they're going to try and find a way around him if possible, and if not, just trying to maybe save his tires, conserve him a little bit, and play it for a long run here. Wait till a pit stop, because these guys will have to make one if it does go green the rest of the way. You never know what the pit stop strategy could be like. Is he's going to try to bottom once again, but he just gets such a huge run up off of that banking towards the top of the racetrack. And as they're now into triple digits for the lap counter, and we're going to be officially halfway in this race, as that is the halfway point. Let's look at your race summary here so far, as we are at halfway, 100 laps completed, 100 laps to go. We've had 9 lead changes so far, and only 2 caution flags have waved. There's your Bristol race summary, now ready on the next lap. as two drivers have pretty much beat in this race so far, have been proven to be the 80 and the 29. As 80 Tamagotchi was the main beat last week, pretty much dominated the event at New Hampshire. While he was on the same strategy as video, slid all but one lap until he decided to head down pit road. The guys tried to make it to the end on fuel. They did make it. They did, but it was had to save so much fuel that he actually lost the lead back to the 80 Tamagotchi, who pitted for 4 fresh tires and fuel. And Tamagotchi ended up passing him on the last lap and taking the victory, respectively, in that race. Looking to try to go back-to-back here tonight after a second-place finish in his first start this season at Kansas to Brian Grubbs. Driver was actually not sure the last 2 weeks, unfortunately. Which considering he's then in fifth place in points. Oh, Ricky Deal hits the outside wall right there. As it looks like Matt Jackson's actually gone quite a few laps down here. I'm not quite sure what caused him to do that. He's 19 laps down here. And along with the 86 of Douglas Carlson, I guess maybe they had to take some repairs into that caution. He's actually one lap down as let's say Cody Dempster. He's actually currently on pit road in that 6th position and got a pass Matt Jackson. He stays there for much longer. And meanwhile, the battle for the race lead is still heating up as 29 continues to try to find a way around him and just search for that lead. What might just turn into the race win here, depending on how it all goes. As we're about to get 90 laps still. McNeil looks to the outside, but does not quite have the nose in there on the 80. So he's going to continue to try to find a way around him, however. He's still right there in his tire tracks behind. And that looks to the inside off turn number 2, but again, inside lane just not going to work out for him. As you just get too tight coming off the corner to wash up and back out of the gas to avoid sliding the racetrack into the wall on the outside. I don't think the bottom is going to work. If he makes this past the race lead, it's going to be a bumper run. It's going to be a mistake by the 80, or it's going to be him sneaking his way to the outside, going off one of these corners on Tamagotchi, or it could be contacts. You know, size of the racetrack puts him in the wall or something. A little bit. Remember, like I mentioned earlier, the contact between them early in the race, that might be the go free ticket pretty much to the 29. Obviously, as he got basically just dumped by the 80 of Tamagotchi while being in the race earlier and got all this damage in his car and caused a caution, etc., etc. So you might just feel, you know, while the 80 maybe apologized for it, maybe he feels like he's able to do that. But we'll wait and see what exactly happens here. Of course, Mickey Neal. Again, making his first start this season and definitely performing super well and showcasing his talent here tonight. As he's going to still try to search the racetrack, find a way around the 80s. Comes off the corner right of her bumper, but just not able to find a way around it. It's so tough to pass here at Bristol. It doesn't matter if you're on fresher tires or way faster of a car. It's just so easy to be stuck behind somebody. And of course, Tamagotchi doing a great job defending as well. It's also not an easy job defending somebody at Bristol. Definitely give him a lot of credit for being able to hold off the 29 machine for this long as he hits the outside wall a little bit right there, though. 29 looked to try to go to the inside. The 80 kind of chopped him right there, and the 29 backed out of it. But that's the kind of mistakes that the 29 needs that 80 machine Tamagotchi to make if he wants to try to take this race lead away and he wants to do it cleanly. It's going to be kind of, you know, things like that, little things like that. If he hits the outside wall, especially coming off the corner, though, that's going to not only get him super loose, maybe even wreck the car, but, you know, that's going to slow him up a lot. And that might be just exactly what the 29 machine needs to take the race lead away and try to run away with it. But definitely the 80 Tamagotchi just pretty much as equally as fast almost. And scrapes the wall off turn number 4. They're trying so hard to dig that bottom of the racetrack, but just not able to get the run he needs on your race leader here. They continue to try to search the inside of the track here. Now we're under 80 laps to go from Bristol. McNeil looking underneath the 280 of Tommy Gossett, but he's not able to get that position from him. And it's just pretty much a dogfight right now out of your top 2 drivers. And again, I think these guys will have to make a green flag pit stop here during this run. If it goes green the rest of the way, I do not believe they can go the rest of the way on fuel, but we might just see them on a fuel strategy as well. You never know. And meanwhile, these guys have been pretty much battling for this race lead. They have pulled out to an over 10-second gap back to third place driver Victor Valley. It's almost a full lap here at Bristol. Matt Jackson right there behind, currently in 6th place. Okay, spun away from Cody Dempster. For some reason, I had some issues. 4th place here of Tim Winikoff. 11.5 seconds behind your race leaders. So you might even have lap traffic here coming to play in the last 75 laps of this one. As 4/10 separate your top 2 drivers. As 29 is kind of backed off a little bit here off the rear bumper of the 80. Maybe either he's trying to save his tires here for the long run and wait till the pit stop, or just wait until 10 laps to go, whatever, to make the move, or maybe he burned his tires up trying too hard to try to pass the 80. Of course, run the bottom of the racetrack like that, washing up out of the corners, definitely chews your tires up. So I'm interested to see if it looks like he's catching back up to him a little bit here, as he actually gets a pretty good run right there off turn number 2, but it's not enough to stick a nose next to the 80. So if we're going to continue trying, no point in giving up at all, as he's going to try to come off the corner. See Matt Jackson there on the apron out of harm's way. As unfortunately for him, his race continues to struggle in this race. But 80, looking in that mirror, sees 29 right there, and you also see that lap traffic out your windshield. 54 right there. Then not too far ahead is 3rd place Victor Valley in that 12 seconds behind the race leaders. That means he's only about 2-3 seconds ahead of the leaders. As you see, 14 seconds back is 54, and he's only about 2 seconds or so, 1 second now, even less. Close as we're under 70 laps to go now, 68 laps to go when we complete this lap, which is almost already done. Continue to turn a lap one by one, click them off, but 29 definitely is hungry for that race lead. He definitely wants this if he wants to prove that he's a great driver, one to reckon with this season. As you see, maybe he uses the 4 as a pick. Looks like the 4 though, gonna go on the racetrack and get out of harm's way. It's a good job there by Tim to take that initiative and do that. So he's gonna get out of the race leaders now. 3 cars on the lead lap. Victor Valley just ahead of these guys in just 3rd place. It's crazy to think how fast these guys are compared to the rest of the field here tonight, or at least drivers on the track right now. And just have 21, and others be pretty fast early on in the race, but unfortunately got caught up in an accident and fallen behind. So this battle continues. 65 laps to go now at Bristol, and 29 still right there behind the 80, not able to pass him yet. But I think, honestly, I think by the end of this race, he might just be able to find a way around him. And again, the strategy is going to be the most crucial part. It's probably going to be a deciding factor here in this race is, can they make it on the fuel to the end, or will they have to pit? And when they do pit, or if they do have to pit, do they take tires? Do they just take fuel? Do they take 2 tires? What's going to be the strategy there? And does anybody else behind play spoiler and manage to stretch it on fuel like we almost saw last week? It's going to be interesting for sure to see how that all plays out, as Bristol takes a long time to pit. So even 3rd and 4th place, who are almost a lap behind and are a lap behind, might just see them be able to pull some strategy out and win this race as well. You never know what's going to come down to, or just be a straight up dogfight between these two. So obviously they're going to pit this time by, as Tommy Gossett actually going to lose a little bit of time right there to the 29, as the 29 McNeil going to get up alongside of him heading onto pit road, and actually almost got ahead of him across the line right there. So that's going to answer my question with just a little over 60 laps to go. His fourth place, 54 machine. He's already going to head down Victory Valley. Is sputtering on fuel, actually. He's going to jump down the apron, and he's going to try to got a lap, or at least try to get a lap led there for a bonus point, as Tommy Gossett and Mickey Neal are going to pull off of pit. It looks like Victor Valley is, in fact, going to get that bonus point because of the fact that he's going to cross the line right there. So just barely got the bonus point. Victor Valley trying to hold onto his points lead over Corey Rexford, who's not having a great night tonight, and Austin Edstorm is not even here. So he's actually going to easily pretty much hold that points lead now. As Tommy Gossett, though, gone off of pit road first ahead of Mickey Neal, but not by much. Gap is still only about 0.3 of a second, if I'd have to estimate here and see it cross the line. It is, in fact, exactly 0.3 of a second, pretty much on the dot. But that 29 closing in fast on the rear bumper of the 80 Tommy Gossett. Now that they're on fresh tires, you can use more of the racetrack and try to pass him. As the 80 going to absolutely have to make their car as wide as this racetrack to try to hold him off. Mickey Neal down to the bottom of the racetrack, tries to take the race lead away. He has a pretty decent run. But unfortunately for him, it's not going to be quite enough. He's going to drive it in hard in turn number 3. The 80 just gets such a good run off that top side of the racetrack. But that 29 now knows that he has to make the most of these fresh tires if he wants to get this victory here tonight. This goes down the bottom of the racetrack, still underneath the 80. Side by side off turn number 4 across the stripe. 29 still holding his ground down there on the bottom. Just not quite able to get it. He gets a pretty good run off turn number 2. This might be it. Going to turn number 3. Can he drive it in deep and clear the 80? Tommy Gossett trying to hold on his outside. His contact. 80 goes to the outside wall. Tommy Gossett got put in the outside wall right there. And out of the 29, respect right there out of your 2 leaders. 29 made that mistake. Unfortunately, washed up the track into the 80 of Tommy Gossett. Put him in the wall. And lit him back by because he did not want to take the position like that. That is absolutely great respect out of 29 machine Ricky Neal. And that's what you love to see here at Bristol. So back chance number 2 here. Ricky Neal trying at the bottom of the racetrack. As he very easily could have run away with that right there. Could have put the 80 in the wall and gone with it. Knows he has the faster car. But definitely does not want to take the race victory like that. And definitely a very great respectful move right there out of the 29 machine Mickey Neal. So he's going to try another shot at it here. Trying to find a way around the 80 Tommy Gossett on the bottom of the racetrack. And get a pretty good run right here to turn number 3. But just pretty much door to door, side by side for the last 5 laps here or so. As they come up off the corner, the 80 this time hits the wall himself, though. I do not believe the 29 put him in that spot. So it looks like Mickey Neal is going to hold on to the race lead for now. With Tommy Gossett still right there behind him, trying the outside lane. And can he get good enough for a run to try to get around the 29 machine here once again? 50 laps to go from Bristol. 3/4 of the way through this one. 50 laps at Bristol does not take very long, though. It's much in a flash. If we're only 13 laps to go, we're halfway. So it takes about 13 minutes to go, 50 laps. As Tommy Gossett's going to look to the inside for the race lead, going into turn number 1. Drive it in pretty deep, but he's not going to be able to do it. As now the tables have turned. Right now, Mickey Neal has that spot, and he's going to pretty much do exactly what the 80's been doing for the last 100 laps or so. And play defense. The 80 of Tommy Gossett pancakes him off turn number 4 for about the 3rd time there, at least the 2nd time on his own in this run. And that's going to basically give the race lead, give a pretty good lead out to 29. It's about now half a second. And I don't know if the 80 can close that back in very easily. As 29 just honestly seems to be a little bit faster than that 80 machine here. Mickey Neal holding on to the lead and what might be the win here at Bristol once we get a yellow, which could always shake things up. You never know. So under 50 laps to go here at 80. Now falls over a second behind. So that just goes to show how fast this 29 Mickey Neal is. But absolutely did a great job there trying to pass the 80 and did exactly what he needs to do. You know, take advantage of those fresh tires when you have them. Be able to run the bottom of the track, and that's when you can take that spot away. And remember, you know, he put him in the outside wall by accident coming off the corner. Just got on the gas too early and washed up the track into the 80 and put him in the wall. think lets him back by and gives himself another shot at it, or gives the 80 another shot at it, pretty much. And that's absolutely respectful driving, and I'm sure the 80 cannot be too mad about that at all. So 40 laps to go here at Bristol, and they cross the finish on 1.7 seconds down is the lead for Mickey Neal over Tommy Gonsa. Then a whole lap back is the 7 of Victor Valley. He's actually battling his 54 for that third position, that podium spot. 54 of Tim Winikoff going to try to drive it in deep, take that spot away. Can't quite do it at the bottom of the track. Going to fall back in line behind him on the top side of the racetrack. And it seems to have some connection issues, unfortunately. This battle for third looks a lot like the battle we had for the race lead for a while. Victor Valley just trying to hold on to this spot. And I think he actually passed 54 because of the fact he ran out of gas there and had to pretty much sputter and coast to pit road. So I think it's why he actually went a fully lap down and lost that spot to 54 in the first place. Looks like he's gained that back. Looks like he's going to hold on to it here for the final 35 laps here from Bristol unless something crazy happens. And of course, being the points leader, definitely a good points day, leading a lap and finishing third in the race. And again, not a single win this so far this season. But he's just played a super cautious almost every single race. Usually has a clean race car by the end of it, or at least the most decent race car and cleanest car in the field right now. So that goes to show, and always consistently running third place. It seems like actually, if just not in the top 5 in general. In fact, he's actually finished top 5 every single race so far that he's competed in, which only is done by Tommy Gossett so far, at least for multiple starters. And win all season long so far. Winners have been Daytona, Douglas Carlson. Then you move on to Atlanta, where it was Wendell Elliott picked the victory with Austin Edstone. Unfortunately, had that didn't happen there. My apologies. Actually, Austin Edstone also has top 5 in every race he's done so far. But then you move on to Iowa, where it was the Iowa, where it was the 03 Michigan Quarter Vexer for his first victory of the season up. But then race number 4 at Kansas ended up going to the 00 of Ryan Grubbs after dominating Iowa the week before, but leaving for some reason or just having some connection issues or something, and ended up going. Came back and won at Kansas. Tommy Gossett was running up. He ended up dominating the last week in New Hampshire. Now looks like Mickey Neal is going to go to victory lane here tonight. So different winners so far in every single race. You see big time smoke out of the 33 right there. Jack Fowler, not sure what's up with that for him. But 29 of Mickey Neal, 25 laps to go this time by. Not going to jinx anything yet, but definitely cruising on to his way, to his first victory of the season, only his first career start. So pretty cool to see that at the 29 machine. As Tommy Goss continues his top 2 streaks so far in this race. As the 29 McKinney lets the outside wall right there. Actually, he's still 3 seconds ahead of Tommy Gossett, but making some mistakes. Definitely gotta play a little bit cool. 3 seconds is a pretty big lead. No need to push the car, of course, as he wants to just finish this race before a caution comes out and messes it up. But yeah, so far we've had After this, it's the 6th race. And if this 29 can hold on to it, he will get his first career victory in the 6th straight different winner so far this season. Definitely interesting to see how that goes for him. He's from a Trimex on the racetrack, and I think he stops risking it up towards the top of the track to avoid hitting the outside wall and potentially rocking himself out of that lead and win. 20 laps to go this time by for the driver of the 29. As next week we head to the Charlotte Motor Speedway, the oval, of course, not the Roval yet. I don't know if we're actually. I think we are doing the Roval somewhat in the season, but it's the Charlotte Motor Speedway oval next week. 85 laps of action there. Then after that, we head to Milwaukee, the Milwaukee Mile, which in real life is actually making a return back to NASCAR, so cool to see that on the schedule in 2 weeks. As we saw quite a bit of crazy action, intense racing at New Hampshire, one of the other mile tracks. We head to Milwaukee. Then after Milwaukee, we head to the fast and bumpy Auto Club Speedway. And after that, it's the plate race at Talladega for race number 10. So definitely a lot of cool tracks going up shortly. Very unique ones, to say the least, is Mickey Neal just trying to take care of his car here. 4 seconds out now ahead of Tommy Gossett. It will be a very well-deserved victory here tonight from Bristol. 15 laps to go for the 29 Chevrolet. He's just taking these laps off one by one, trying to keep the car together and in the right direction. I'm just hoping just not for a caution. And even if caution flag did come out, I still think he'd be in tip-top shape here. With less than 15 laps to go, I doubt they'd find him on pit road. And Tommy Gossett, Victor Valley, will be only the other 2 on the on the lead lap, and 7 be behind everybody else's lap. So it pretty much should be between him and the 80 or so. Excited to see that for chase race number 2. And the round of 12 for drivers will be eliminated from the chase as we continue to whittle down all the way down to the last 4 at Daytona in a few weeks in the Xfinity cars. So I'm interested to see how that plays out as next week. This week it's Daytona on the Cup cars. Next week it's the trucks at Talladega. Then it's the Xfinities at Daytona once again. We get 9 laps to go this time by 5.5 seconds is the lead for Mickey Neal. This is pretty much trying to pedal the car to a solid finish here. Oh, caution flag is gonna wave. It's up for the 86 of Douglas Carlson, who was a couple laps down back in about 5th place. And that will put us up for about a 2-lap shootout here. Maybe a 3-lap shootout at the most from Bristol. And it's exactly what 29 McNeil did not want to see. He pretty much was going to cruise home to the victory with a 6-second lead. He's actually not going to pit, so I guarantee you. Oh, no, Victor Valley. Excuse me. Tommy Gossett is not going to pit, but I'm not sure if it was open yet either. We'll go back and see. Look exactly what caused that caution. As that is going to definitely change the complexion of the end of this race. As Cody demonstrated, already put behind the outside wall. Put behind the wall. As just a handful of laps left to go. Under 10 laps to go. Douglas Carlson back in 5th position. Exactly what we saw the 03 do. Hits the outside wall and spins down to the inside. Literally almost picture perfect, or identical, I should say, to what the 03 did. It just hit the outside wall, spun down to the inside wall, spun around a couple times, and got back going. As they're putting us under the 3rd caution flag of the nights, and what might just probably be the final one. As that now sets us up for that run, as 86 puts the 29 in the pit road wall right there. As it looks like these guys are going to pit. Does the 80 take 2 tires? I would not be surprised to see Tommy Gossett take 2 tires to make a winning call. As you see here, and just puts it all nice and easy. Right side tires go up for the 80 entry. You know, it's actually going to be 4 fresh Goodyears for the 80 of Tommy Gossett. Ends up getting a Looking back to the restart here, will probably will be the as I'm gonna go on board now with the 80 machine of Tommy Gossett for that. As you saw the move there by the 29 for the race lead, definitely an aggressive one. He gets French punted out the racetrack. And then the center Rally gonna pass him, hits the outside of the wall and costs him quite a bit of time, but still right there in second. The 80 gets up behind him and just I don't think he was going as fast as the 80 Tommy Gossett expected him to, and it's gonna cause him to first just turn the Sun machine around out of that second position. So you're gonna look at it here. This being, of course, for the race win. And in the 29 machine, Mickey Neal definitely quite a bit faster there at the end as he proved. And it looks like actually a bit of neck kill between him and the 80. I don't think they really made contact, but then that costs 80 a lot of time. And 7 goes down the apron to avoid, hits the outside wall in the front straightaway. That slows him down a little bit, lets him get right in front of the 80 Tommy Gossett. And then teammates here, as they come off turn number 2, the 80 just gets in the back corner panel of the 7 of Victor Valley and basically just dumps him out of that second position. I don't think it was intentional, but of course the 7 feels otherwise, and can I say is that wouldn't it make it almost anybody mad. And so teammates getting together there, but Victor Valley gonna finish in 4th, but 29 machine of Mickey Neal gonna take the victory here from Bristol. As we've been informed that Tommy Gossett looks like we're going to be looking at an interview here with Tommy Gossett really quickly. As Tommy Gossett, you with us?
Yes, sir, I am.
So, Tommy, pretty much keep it short and sweet here, but obviously a great run for you. Starting up from the pole and being in contention for the win all race long here tonight, and pretty much a dogfight between you and the 29 machine there, Mickey Neal. Obviously, 106 laps here tonight, and you're running up finisher after a 3rd straight solid week for you. So the battle there between you and the 29, and that contact there between the 7 last lap.
Oh, well, it was just a heck of a race all around, man. The 3-week stretch we've been in is probably my 3-week worst tracks in the sim, apart from Darlington. So to come away with a win in a second, I'll take. But it was fun battling with Mikey. I wish the netcode wouldn't have happened earlier in the race than again there on that last lap. If netcode wouldn't have been a thing, we would have doored and we would have just kept running. But it knocked me up the track. And then with the 7, I don't know if it was netcode or I had my nose underneath of him and it just kind of hit him. I don't know. I'll have to go back and look at it. But of course, it was nothing intentional. I'd never wreck Victor like that. Victor's too good of a dude for that. Hate it. Cost him a 2nd place and made him go back to 4th.
Absolutely. And while we're trying to let you go here, any shout-outs and sponsors you want to thank here for run up finish?
Yeah, I want to thank B2 Design, Carly Nagel Photography, Main and Tell, and Dirtbag Club.
Alrighty, real appreciate your time here, Tommy. We'll let you go, and congratulations on 2nd. We'll see you here next week from Charlotte.
All right, thank you.
As that was the 2nd place finisher tonight, Tommy Gossett in the 80 machine, but now the 54 of Tim Winnikoff, if we can get a hold of him here. Too many cards, got a copy. Too many cards, got a copy. Unfortunately, he's not there, but we're going to get a hold of the 29 Shabiki Neal. Picked up the victory here tonight. Obviously, very excited about that. Making his first career start to go to victory lane. So, currently 1-for-1 as the Rockets beat now. Mickey Neal, got a copy.
Yeah, I got a copy.
So, Mickey, you managed to pull off the victory here tonight from Bristol. Your first start in the series, and definitely a great way to start off your season anyway. Picked the victory here tonight at Bristol, leading 71 laps and starting all the way back in last place. Definitely an amazing drive by you, and the battle there between you and the 80 head-to-head for the good last 3 quarters of that race or so is absolutely fantastic to watch. Stuck with the battle there between you and him. Obviously, a lot of respect for you two. Of course, when you accidentally put him on the wall there, you gave him the spot back to him. So the respect for both of you guys racing each other, trying to race each other as clean as possible, and obviously you were able to get the job done. Stuck with the race there all on.
Yeah, we had a great time though. I mean, it was definitely a fun battling with Tommy though. We had a great time. He's a good friend of mine, so we always race really hard. Yeah, I'll give him a spot back if he accidentally gets into the wall. But we had a great time, and I was glad to bring it home first after starting in the back after having a bad qualifying. So other than that, the car was really good, and we were able to get into victory lane tonight.
Yeah, and of course, talk about what was going through your mind there going into that caution, that race caution, as it looked like, you had a 5.5 second lead, you were pulling away, going to cruise to victory, and all of a sudden the caution flag waves for somebody, and, it sets you guys up for a restart. And
A penalty for not entering correctly. So, and I'm not sure if I don't think I hit the pit line. I just don't think I came down fast enough. So I ended up not getting across the line, and it put me in the back. But obviously, when a lot of cars on the lap tonight, so just put me in second. So last restart, I knew I was gonna have to do something because Tommy had the outside advantage. I knew he was gonna be strong there all day. So I had to dive it in. I dove it in on 3, and I think it's a little bit of net code between us, which got him up the track. But it was definitely not anything intentional. I had a great time racing them all night, and kind of it's kind of upsetting to end it that way, but we ended up having a great battle all night, so it kind of made up for it. And we had, I know he had fun. It's his home track, so he's kind of upset about losing it. But overall, I think we had a great time.
absolutely, and talk about, of course, this being your first start in the series and coming out and winning, obviously great to make a first impression and everybody else in this field, and to have that momentum and that confidence booster for you. Obviously, to jump into a new week and be able to win a race right off the bat. Talk about looking forward in the next few races. Obviously, Bristol's a very unique racetrack. Do you have the speed over mile and a half and everywhere else, you feel like?
Yeah, I like the short tracks. Short tracks are probably my best, but I really like mile and a halfs. I like 2 mile tracks. I like everything with this car. This car's really fun to drive on iRacing. They did a great job scanning it, and everybody has a great time running these Xfinity cars. I think at any track, really anybody is fast. It just you just got to get you got to be more consistent. That's what I kind of worked on here. I didn't really try to overdrive the corners. I just kind of kept it nice and smooth on the bottom, and saved my tires all night, and that really helped me. I think it helped me more on the long runs when we had long runs, and I actually took 2 tires on like around lap 70 when I had a pit after that caution, so it was kind of tough to pass. I didn't have much grip, but overall, I think this is gonna help me a lot. I mean, it's gonna give me a huge momentum booster going into the next few races. So hopefully, I can get some things out of this.
Already finishing things off here. Any sponsors and shout outs you want to give here for your time here tonight?
Yeah, first of all, Matt does a great job hosting the league. Thank him and buddies. They do a great job hosting it. I have a great time racing with. And I think him and Nathan, I think, are the admins. I could be wrong on that, but thank you guys very much. I think my teammates also want to thank everybody for watching, and congratulations to the top 3 tonight.
Absolutely, and again, congratulations to you on your victory. We'll see you here next week. Have a good night.
All right, thank you.
I was driver of the number 29, Shavik Neal, managing to pull the victory off here tonight. It looks like now we might be stood by with your third place finisher, 54 machine of Tim Winikoff. I'm going to see if we can get a hold of him here. Tim Winikoff, got a copy.
Hello.
So, Tim, you managed to pull off a podium here tonight, and you're also your first career start for this league. And obviously, talk about third place finish to start off your career in this series. Obviously, always great to have that confidence going into a season for you. You led 18 laps here tonight. Looked like you were going to be towards the front there and battling for the win. And unfortunately for you, that damage, I think, really slowed your car down from that contact early in the race, and you just kind of fell behind. But still, a good, solid third-place finish for you. Just talk about, when you got the lead there for a little while after that wreck and how your car was handling the rest of the race.
Well, it kind of bothered. Accidentally got there, but kept on trucking, and actually had a time I didn't even fix. Get as much as I can. That 18 laps was up. I don't think I ever saw the leaders again.
Yeah, of course, obviously, coming into this series with no points at all and having a third place finish, leading the laps and getting bonus points, that's going to be great for you. Looking forward to try to make your way, to fight for the championship. How do you feel about the next upcoming races as we head to tracks like Charlotte and Auto Club?
Well, I'm not really good at the big tracks, so we'll just go there and see what happens, really.
Alrighty, well, any shout-outs and thank yous and sponsors, of course, that you want to thank here after your third place run?
I'd like to thank V2 Design and
Alright, we appreciate that. I'm here, Tim. Congratulations on your third place finish, and we'll see you here next week from Charlotte. That was your third place finish here tonight, Tim Winikoff, and the 54. Unfortunately, having some connection issues there or something, but nevertheless, he's the third place finisher. So we're going to take a look at your results here, top to bottom from Bristol Motor Speedway for the VASR Stock Car Championship. Ricky Neal taking the victory here tonight. Tommy Goss in a second place finish after his dominant performance last week from New Hampshire. Tim Winikoff, as we just spoke to him there, he finished it off in third. Victor Valley, unfortunately, got turned there by his teammate for second. He's going to finish it in fourth. Doug Carlson in fifth. Matt Jackson sixth. Cody Dempster 102 laps down right there in the seventh. Jack Fellows 151 laps down in eighth. And Corey Rexford on your field of starters here tonight. 153 laps down in ninth place here tonight. So appreciate you watching. It's another lovely Tuesday night. We're going to see you here Friday night for the RSC East Series. Come check us out for that as we get things set from race number 2 for the chase. Of course, at Daytona in the Cup cars, so definitely going to be interesting to see the bottom 4 get eliminated from that race. So everybody's going to pretty much be on their peak performance there for that race. Has continued to knock down only 3 races left for the RSC Series. Because then after Daytona, it goes down to 12. Then after that, it goes down to 8, and then after that, it goes down to the final 4 at Daytona once again. So definitely interested to see who's able to be crowned the very first season 1 champion of the RSC East Series. And then next Monday night, the Ashes Motorsports Cup Series starts race number 2 off from Atlanta Motor Speedway for the second race and the very first season for the Cup Series in that league. Of course, running the Xfinity cars last year, so it's going to be interesting to see how that goes there. As we appreciate everybody watching here tonight, and this is LCTV. Have a good night.